This story just breaks your heart. Out of Frisco, Texas, what could be completely avoided. A 17-year-old high school honor student with a 4.0 GPA, captain of the football team, Austin Metcalf, stabbed to death at a track meet by 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony after an argument over seating. Anthony reportedly seated in the wrong area. A skirmish ensued. Anthony took out a knife and fatally stabbed Metcalf in the heart. Austin died in his twin brother Hunter's arms. Take a look.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So.
Yeah. The story is getting so little attention from the national media. Get this, a Give, Send, Go site has already raised over $200,000 for that young man's legal defense right there. Who would donate to that? Joining us now for a reaction, former NFL player and chairman of the Jack Brewer Foundation, Jack Brewer, and founder and president of I Know God US, Pastor John Amachuku. Gentlemen, great to see you. Pastor John, are you surprised this story isn't getting more attention? Something tells me if the races here were reversed, this would be a much bigger story.
Yeah, I do. I think it would be a bigger story. The legacy media is dead in the first place. They're not going to report the truth. We have to be honest here. This was a tragic incident, and someone lost their life. Now, do we know all of the details? No. Have we read the affidavit ourselves? No. But this is what the story of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Michael Brown and Daniel Penny and even Cal Rittenhouse has taught me. Wait to get all of the details. We were not there. We weren't present. We weren't under that tent. We don't know what happened. But this is what we do know, that a knife should not be brought to a track meet at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do know it's a sad situation that a tussle ensued over someone being under the wrong tent.
Yeah, it's high school. I mean, that kind of stuff, look, if there was no knife, it's high school. That stuff happens, right? Jack, I just want to show, and by the way, all those people that you mentioned, Pastor, that all got a whole lot of national attention. Outside of Texas and apart from us and maybe Fox, this story's going nowhere. No one's talking about it because it doesn't fit the narrative. I want to, Jack, over the weekend, we got the social media post, the most recent post for this young man, Carmelo Anthony. So he's the guy that did this. That's not in dispute. Some really troubling posts on social media. One where he's just giving the middle finger to the camera, and another one he's holding what looks like a pretty powerful gun right there. And that's 4 days ago. How is this not flagged on social media?
No, Finnerty. How does his dad not grab him by the neck and put his foot in his butt? That's the issue that we're talking about here. We're talking about a bunch of kids running around in our communities whose dad don't whip their butts, and if some of them don't even have dads in their lives. And that's what the sad thing is about it. And I tell you what, I play sports. John plays sports. Man, you don't go sit on anyone else's bench, in their dugout, under their tent. You don't go take over somebody else's space when you're competing against them. If you do that, you're looking for trouble. And so no matter what anyone wants to say, whatever he was doing on someone else's bench, he was wrong. And he had no right being there. And the fact that he had a knife in the words he said after he stabbed that boy to death, he ought to be ashamed of himself. And I tell you what, like you said, if this was the other way around, people would be riding in the streets. Yeah. Enough is enough of this mess, man.
Yeah, let me read you a quote from the father, Pastor John, the accused killer's father. Quote, "Everyone has already made their assumptions about my son, but he's not what they're making him out to be. He's a good kid, works 2 jobs. He's an A student, has a 3.7 GPA. All of that might be true about this kid, Carmelo Anthony, but he also brought a knife to a track meet and stabbed another kid in the heart to death. So all that good kid stuff kind of goes out the window for me when that happens."
Yes, it should. You know, it's insane to bring a knife to a track meet. It's insane to sit under the wrong bench. you know? And so I don't know what was in his mind. Some people are saying online that he had a traumatic situation weeks ago where he lost a friend and maybe he had some mental issues going on. I don't know what the case is. I don't know why he did that, but it's rather insane. And it's a terrible situation that we're having to contend with. But I'll say this, that image that you showed of him holding up the airsoft rifle, beside him in that same image are some other students, some white and some black. It's been cropped where you can't see it. But there are also images of Hunter Metcalf and Austin Metcalf holding up rifles after hunting. At the end of the day, these are the things that divide us when we show a part of a narrative. Here's the reality. The young man should still be alive. There are people who are going to seek to race bait and divide us on this issue.
No, that's what I'm not trying to do that. And by the way, those other kids in the picture, I haven't seen the wider picture, I believe you, but they didn't stab anybody in the heart a couple days ago, last Wednesday in Texas. Jack, just final thought. We've only got about 15 seconds. Sorry, Pastor. Go ahead, Jack.
Man, listen, if my kid holding up an AK-47 looking like putting a bird up and that photo is still on there, that tells you what kind of house he's living in. It has nowhere in comparison to that boy who just got done hunting. That's two completely different things. Just one of them look like he's hunting people, and the other one look like he's out hunting animals. And we need to put an end to this stuff. I don't care what black, white, green, or purple think about me. I'm about the truth. I'm about God's truth, and that boy was wrong, and we need to stop this and get fathers back in our house in this country.
Gentlemen, part of a larger conversation that we're going to continue throughout the week. Hope you'll come back. Pastor John,
God bless you.
Jack Brewer,
Love you,
thank
John,
you. You too.
By the way.
Thank you, guys.
You too, Finnerty.
All right, more Finnerty.